You are looking at the best closer this city has ever seen.
Closer, huh? Baseball?
Attorney. I close situations.
What did you get me? I said I was gonna get you a 158.
Pencils down. Excuse me. Do I know you from somewhere?
I don't think so. I told you I wanted a 175. You're a B- student. I get you a 175, they'll know you cheated. I can have my money, please.
Recruiting. Harvey, your interviews are set up for tomorrow.
Can we please skip the recruiting? We need people who think on their feet, not another Harvard clone with a rod up his ass.
You went to Harvard Law.
I'm an exception.
Find me another one.
Give each guy a hard time before you send them back. Give me a wink if they say something clever.
Okay. Excuse me, you are 5 minutes late. Is there a reason why I should let you in?
I'm just trying to ditch the cops, okay? I don't really care if you let me in or not.
You want me, you want
Mike Ross.
Harvey Specter, nice to meet you. Should have a seat here. Whoa. Unfortunately, we only hire from Harvard, and you haven't even gone to any law school.
What if I told you that I consume knowledge like no one you've ever met and I've actually passed the bar?
I'd say you're full of crap.
Read me something.
Civil liability associated with agency is based on
The reasonable inference of agency on behalf of the plaintiff and the nature of the damages themselves.
How did you know that?
I like to read. Once I read something, I understand it. And once I understand it, I never forget it.
I'm emailing the firm. I just found our next associate.
I am Patrick Galvez from the Red Group. Today, our group will be reporting on the TV series Suits. Suits in a nutshell is about a lawyer named Harvey Specter who is looking for an associate to hire. He then meets Mike Ross, who just happens to run into the interview room as he escapes the police from a busted drug deal. Harvey gets impressed with Mike's intelligence and decides to hire him even though he is not a lawyer. To begin, let us first analyze the effect of this on others. First and foremost, all cases touched by Mike are going to be considered a mistrial. This means that all of the people he has worked for, all of the problems he solved, the justice he has served, they will all be considered invalid. So, if he won a case against a murderer, this case will have to be reopened and retried by another lawyer who has no knowledge of the case. And the murderer will once again be innocent until proven guilty. Next effect would be the firm's reputation would be greatly damaged. Obviously, when people find out that this firm knowingly hired a fraud, it will be very hard for people to have faith and trust in this firm again. Lastly, everyone who is aware of Mike's identity can be charged with conspiracy to commit fraud because they allowed him to keep practicing law despite him not being a true lawyer. The effect of this issue on Harvey is pretty much self-explanatory. Harvey is breaking the law by hiring Mike to work and practice law with him, despite him not being a true lawyer. Again, this is conspiracy to commit fraud. Not only can Harvey be imprisoned for this, but he may lose his license to practice law and his entire career as well.
Now, let's proceed to the evaluation of Harvey's specific action. Judging from the effects of the moral issue to others and to himself, you may all have hypothesized that it is wrong for Harvey to employ Michael Ross, who did not meet the legally required qualifications of an attorney. Although Ross has great potential, it doesn't change the fact that he did not study law. From this, pwede nating makuha yung specific moral principle. So in this case, it is wrong for someone to employ a person who did not meet the legally required qualifications of an attorney. In other words, what Harvey did is not just specifically wrong for him, it is wrong for everyone who is committing or has committed the same action or same crime. Now, given this, the general moral principle states that it is wrong to abet fraudulent acts. When we say abet, we're referring to someone who's actively cooperating and encouraging with a person who's committing a crime. Thus, we can say that this is a moral issue because there was harm involved to others, to Harvey himself, and to the law.
Now moving on, let us trace the origin of the moral issue presented in this clip. For the first part, person, action, or institution involved It is the law firm, specifically Pearson Hardman. Now, it is important to note that we are talking about Pearson Hardman because in the show, Pearson Hardman is well known for hiring lawyers who have graduated only from Harvard University. And the ethical issue in the clip is lying or deception and falsification of identity and information by hiring a fraud as an associate. Now for this next part, let us talk about the goal or purpose of the institution involved, the law firm, which is to hire credible, excellent, and competitive lawyers who have graduated in law schools and have passed the bar exam. Now the value attached to the goal or purpose is to give sound legal advice to clients and represent them in matters that require legal assistance such as civil cases and business transactions, among others. Now for Pearson Hardman specifically, because this is a firm that has strict qualifications, another value is to assure clients that the firm is competent and can be trusted because its lawyers have all graduated from Harvard.
Hi guys, I am Richmond and I am going to continue Kim's report about the origin of moral issue. The next part is the established way of doing things related to the goal, wherein Kim discussed that the goal of the institution is to have a lawyer that is credible, competitive, and excellent enough that finish law school and pass the bar exam. In order for us to achieve this goal, studying and learning in an institution like law school, for example, Harvard Law, and in order for us to accept in a law firm like Pearson Hardman in the video, we must undergo the right and proper recruitment process. The next is the behavior contrary to the established way, which is the negligent hiring as well as creating a fake identity and falsifying documents and degree. And the last is the directives for regulating conduct or regulating behavior is the guilty of public offense, law against negligent hiring, and punishable by a fine, disbarment, and imprisonment.
This is Jella speaking, and this is the last part of our report. The question is, what could be a morally acceptable alternative for this situation, and is there a possible morally required option related to the issue? Let us first dig into the morally acceptable alternative. In this situation, the morally acceptable alternative is to sponsor Mike's law school because even though Harvey thought that Mike Ross is best for the job, especially in the way he presented his skills in the interview, he cannot erase the fact that Mike did not go to any law school. So instead of hiring Mike Ross as an associate right away, Harvey Specter could have sponsored his education so that he can meet the proper qualifications of being an associate in the firm. And then, when he finally gets a law degree, Harvey, as a senior partner, could secure Mike's job of being a full-fledged lawyer in the firm. With this alternative, Harvey would not violate a number of laws that endangers his firm, reputation, and credibility. So now, let us talk about the morally required option. So the moment Harvey saw that Mike has a case full of illegal drugs, and once he heard Mike's story on why he went to pot business, he was morally required to do something about it. He should have reported it to the authorities and let Mike serve his sentence, or else he justified the sale of illegal drugs. And of course, the most obvious morally required option is Harvey does not hire Mike or even considered him to be an associate in the law firm because he knew in the first place that Mike did not go to any law schools. We are the Red Group, and that concludes our analysis on Suits. Thank you for listening.
When the morning comes and we see what we've become.